Did you know, we now offer channel memberships? You can also leave a tip. Your support is vital to the growth of this channel. Please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is I, your host, Mr. Sean, and today we are coming back in with stuff from r/justneckbeardthings. This is some of my personal favorite content, and I hope you enjoy it too. Of course, if you are unaware, neckbeards are those nerdy gentlemen who like to think of themselves as super chivalrous, and that always like to tip their hats to ladies, but often it is, just they aren't as dapper as they think they are, and these posts help show that. Before we get into that, however, of course, it is time to talk about my business, Chimera Miniatures. Whether you're into one-of-a-kind kit bashes or just minis that are a little bit naughtier than what you find in the store, Chimera Miniatures has you covered with our one-of-a-kind kit bash miniatures, as well as our line of not-safe-for-work HeroClix. These are the perfect gift for the naughty, gentle sir or milady in your life. You can find one-of-a-kind Chimera Miniatures on both Mercari and eBay. And with that being said, let's get into the posts. Up first, we have the dating profile of Alan. Alan is 34. He's a rather larger fellow. He apparently is 5'8", is sporting some spectacles, a fine fedora hat, and a katana from what we can see in his profile picture. He is a waifu enthusiast at Waifu Corp, studied at Japan Women's University, is straight, lives in North Glen, and apparently is less than a mile away. Ooh, I'm scared. Next up, we have an anime announcement that there is a new Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid illustration, followed by a follow-up post from someone called Moondrop Opossum, who made some edits, and it looks like he gave, he gave a less revealing swimsuit to the character that is clearly a child, and gave the gals a bit more realistic features for the most part. And let's see what people have to say about his edits. Are you a Muslim or just conservative? Neither, they're just not a fucking weirdo. Hilarious! How the newer gen is the one becoming more and more Puritan and prudish these days. Bro, you got an anime profile picture? How old can you be? I'm dying here. I'm 30, and this isn't an anime profile pic either. I've not really watched much of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I tried, it's not really my thing, but it definitely is one of those ones that is definitely a fan service show and also definitely suffers from the anime curse of she's not a child, she's a 7,000-year-old dragon. Like, I think that's literally this is the anime where that trope came from, and you have clearly have two characters that are meant to appear childlike, and one of them has really weird proportions for a child. And yeah, no, I definitely think this anime is, you can tell if this is someone's favorite run. The CDC recommends wearing anime shirts to socially distance others away from you. That's right, we're not pervs, we've just been staying safe this whole time. The men she don't want her crying, but yet she over here saying, I'm single by choice. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Never settle if you don't have to. My great-grandmother used to tell her grandchildren, hey, it's better to be single than wish you were. It's extra funny because women don't understand how incredibly uninteresting they are to men. We only tolerate you because we want to fuck. If we want to laugh or have a good conversation, then we're talking to the homies. I'm sorry, why can't the homies be girls? Some of the conversations I've had where I have literally laughed my ass off have been in rooms completely with only female friends. I have a pretty mixed gender friend group, and every last one of them is equally funny. I don't know why you don't think that women can be interesting unless you have so niche a hobby that you literally only find one thing interesting and you just don't know any women with that hobby. I think this says more about you than it does about women. Harley Quinn showing us how quick all women move on from men. I mean, if you had a boyfriend like she did, you'd want to be a lesbian too. Or, sorry, bisexual. And speaking of women dating women, here we have a post from just being best friends to also being girlfriends and soon to be wives. We thank you all for your support. And of course, the Neckbeard's gotta come into the comments. He had to put down the comics to get into the comments. What you both just did is to deny 2 men the lifetime chance to have 2 beautiful wives. Women compliment best a man and vice versa. Well, if you both would have a rethink, I and a good friend of mine, 2 able-bodied men, are on standby to have you as pretty wives to men, not this way. I love that this guy apparently thinks that he can break up a loving couple just by having a dick. As someone who has a dick, buddy, it ain't nothing special. It's really not. I think that's why it's really hard for straight guys to understand homosexual men, because we look at our own dicks and go, ugh, that's kind of gross looking. I certainly don't want to see someone else's. And hey guys, just remember this point, we're back in March and April of 2022. Incels.is changed their rules from do not sexualize minors in any way, shape, or form to do not sexualize prepubescent minors in any way, shape, or form, and also reminding their people not to post gay or LGBT content unless they're criticizing it. What a wonderful group of totally not hate-filled, basement-dwelling jizzmongers. And here we have a crude sketch of your stereotypical incel, neckbeard basement dweller, and a list of attributes. No skills, no hobbies, no social ability, overweight, horrible hygiene, horrible diet, and no attempt at life improvement. But it's because I'm 5'8". If I was at least average height, femoids would orgasm over me. They're just intimidated by my IQ. And you're so smart, yet you can't identify any of the above problems about yourself. Here we have a smiling young man proudly proclaiming, I finally told my parents that I'm in the alt-right, and they were cool with it. They just said as long as it doesn't bring down my grades. I can't wait for your prom date to beat the shit out of you when you try to force her into sex. See how much of a man you feel like then, buckaroo. Next up, we have a post originally from r/conservative encouraging people to get married and make babies. Ladies, hear me out. OnlyFans, but it's just one fan, and you bear his children, and he takes care of you for life. Guys, if anything, I'm upset my wife doesn't want to start an OnlyFans. Have you seen how much money some of those women make? Talk about being the breadwinner. Women who put the hustle in on OnlyFans make more in a month than I make in 2 years, and quite honestly, I'm pretty jealous of that. But again, I'm a guy, and penises are awkward looking. If only there was a way to make people pay me to not show them my penis. And here we have a conversation. Gross. Shave. No. We hold doors open, pull out chairs, pay for dates. You're the first evacuated for emergencies. You can abort our kid without our input. All we want is for you to not grow a mustache and shave your hairy ass legs and armpits. Gonna need a little give and take here. I mean, but what exactly are you giving? You've said there's common courtesy and basic human rights, and for that, you want them to change their look specifically for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I too prefer shaved legs and armpits, but I don't think I have the right to expect it. And certainly not for the reasons you listed below. And now we have the Arby's new ready to settle down sandwich. I mean, I get what they're trying to say here, but one, it's not going to stay looking that way, and two, who doesn't enjoy giving a nice cream pie? Women's vaginas can push out a baby and then go back to their original form. You think your dick's going to make a difference? Hell, you think 100 dicks are going to make a difference? 1,000? When you compare the size of your piddly-ass dick to the size of a human being that they can push out and then retain their shape, yeah, you're not making any difference, my dude. You say she's not tight because of all the dick she's ridden? Well, maybe just all bodies are different. Now here we have an article, apparently an incel gamer who calls himself a nice guy took the head off of a 17-year-old girl who wouldn't give him a chance after she went on a date with another guy. Yeah, sounds like a nice guy to me. Here we have Lord of Neckbeards, the wielder of the Sword of Milady. Do you hear that, guys? That's boss music. I'm not entirely sure what kind of vehicle I'm looking at here, but that's an interesting way to fill up the tank, and clearly the person doesn't want to be photographed doing this, and is choosing to flash a stack of cash. So, you know, if you're embarrassed by it, don't do it, maybe. At least not somewhere where you're gonna have to display that thing in public. And here we have a gentleman wearing this fine garment of see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Yeah, I bet he's fun at parties. Great conversationalist. I bet he totally has a girlfriend too. Here we have a Neckbeard's milady on a date. I do give this guy credit for, one, getting the body pillow that has a disappointed look, and also knowing that the best combination for pizza is to have a nice tall glass of milk. That is choice. See, when I was a kid, when we would get pizza, my mom didn't want me to have a lot of soda, so she would always have me have milk with it. And to this day, nothing tastes better with pizza to me than a nice cold glass of milk. I will say, though, you need better taste in waifus, because this one can't even be bothered to put on a full shirt for her romantic candlelit pizza dinner. Have some respect for yourself, man. Get yourself a classy lady. Here we have a post where a man is declaring that men have options too. After understanding the dating game more, I'm starting to realize that men are looked at as expendable, and seems like a lot don't know that there are men out there with options. Maybe a small amount of men, but they are out there. It's just baffling since I can see how they are really looked at as a whole now. It is as if men are just used. Even the men who actually care are used, while the ones who don't care are praised. I don't know who told you that men haven't always had options. Everyone has options. Even if your only option is to date someone you don't want to or be single, you have the option to be single. That is always a choice. Just like if you don't like what is presented for you, you can say no, and then you can either go look for what you want, or be less effective, wait for it to come to you, but you always have options. You're never required to quote unquote settle. And honestly, I don't know where people get this idea that you can't, because there have been lifelong bachelors, there have been quote unquote spinsters throughout time immemorium, and nobody is ever required to settle down if they don't like the partners that are available to them. So, not sure where this idea comes from. And here, for that wonderful Neckbeard date night, we have Cool Ranch Doritos eyeshadow palette. And if you pair that up with this Cool Ranch cologne, you are going to be looking super fly from a lady. Put on that Cool Ranch eyeshadow, spritz with that cologne, and just know what you're about, and people will respect that. Here's a guy with an opinion. Women exist for male attention. They literally vanish from reality if a man isn't thinking about them or looking at them. What is RIP? The ultimate male attention. For a man to risk it all just at RIP, it validates their existence. Women love nothing more. This guy has real main character syndrome going on, saying that things literally cease to exist if he isn't thinking about them. He says men, but he means himself. And when you want to do that to a woman, you're not saying I'm willing to risk it all to be with you. You're saying I'm willing to risk it all to hurt you. I'm willing to risk it all to show you that I am more powerful than you, because it's never about attraction. It's about power. You are saying there is so little power in your life that you would rather be in prison than be able to accept that you shouldn't have power over another human being. You are saying I am a total piece of shit. I am the guy who takes women out on dates and annoys them. I did it again. I have been really sad lately, so to cheer myself up, I matched with a girl on Tinder and decided to try out this wigger character that I've been workshopping. I bought some Jordans and some oversized t-shirt and jeans and picked her up blasting Mafia, nope, not gonna say that word, by 3-6 Mafia. I had it on loop and I drove her to the restaurant that was 20 miles away. The restaurant is Chili's. After the third loop, she asked if she could switch the songs, and I just turned up the volume and said, "Nah, I need to get in my zone, pimp." I also finished every sentence with pimp or "nah, I'm saying." When we got to the restaurant, I ordered a ton of food, like $80 worth, and even casually ate off of her plate sometimes. Then I whipped out a flask and said I had lean in it, and kept telling her to try it, knowing she wouldn't. Then I told her I had to go to the bathroom and just left the restaurant. Made me feel so much better. I needed that. What you need is professional help. Next, we have a Neckbeard's thoughts on the amazing show Invincible. Imagining having the chance to become pregnant with a godlike immortal child and deciding to insist on condoms. Amber is the dumbest woman alive. No, if you actually watched that scene, which I just did yesterday actually, Amber was terrified that a nearly all-powerful alien might have some effects with their doing it that would be negative to her. She asked, is he going to have like super sperm? Is there a chance he's going to crush her? Very valid concerns. Also, as two young people just starting off their college experience, I don't think her or Invincible really want to be settled down with a kid just yet. I don't care who the potential daddy is, there are women out there who aspire to more than just bearing children for a man. Also, if you haven't watched Invincible, I highly recommend it, and also reading the comics. It is just, both the show and the comic are just fantastic. Here we have Elon Musk, the new god of neckbeards these days, with his post on X, which he renamed, and holding a katana in front of an American flag with the following passage. "There is a large graveyard filled with my enemies. I do not wish to add to it, but will if given no choice. Those who pick fights with me do so at their own peril, but maybe this is their lucky day." It's so funny that the guy who has kind of become the de facto god of neckbeards has the most neckbeardy post ever on Twitter, which is now called X, which he owns and is the one who renamed it X. Next up, we have a post about a pleasant experience. "Yesterday, I went to my local store and got Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch and was served by a beautiful woman. I was shocked she even worked there, as the staff all look like they need a wash and are on drugs. I even asked if she was new there, but she's been there for a while now apparently. I was made to feel welcome as opposed to being made to feel like I'm interrupting their conversations when I'm buying stuff. I've been going to the store a lot lately, buying up games like crazy, and now have a better excuse to keep going back. And I know this is a long shot, but hope the others learn from her sales techniques, cause the great unwashed staff are seriously lacking in that department." I just really don't think that this statement has anything to do with other than the fact that the cashier at the game store was a woman, and one that you find attractive. I don't believe for 1 second that this is the first time you've seen her. You said you've been going there a lot buying games. I think you've seen her there, and you've just hoped that she would be the one to ring you out. Hell, she's probably avoided you because she's picked up on what you're doing, and today she just drew the short straw. If anything, you're gonna scare this girl, and she's gonna start acting like the rest of the unwashed masses to try and dissuade you from liking her, and maybe you'll just fuck off to another store. "Men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos." Okay, 1, I think that's a picture of actual children. And 2, speak for yourself. I married a tattooed non-virgin with college debt, so, to each their own, I guess. Now, this next one, I believe, is about an OnlyFans account. And the account, the girl on the account has posted a picture of herself and the following message. "Not to sound too slutty, but I'd play with your hair and listen to your problems." And oh, this guy responded with his problems. "My problem is you won't show us your feet. Every single time you tweet, I beg and beg and beg for you to show us your feet, but you just ignore me. I wish you would just notice me. I also sometimes recommend future products you could sell, like life-size realistic sex doll, but you never notice. It really hurts me. I often cry myself to sleep knowing I mean nothing to you. But if you just noticed me once, you would realize I am really a nice guy. One of the good ones. I can make you happy. I tell good jokes. I have a wonderful job. I can cook inedible meals." That's not a good thing. "I am very clean. I am very organized. I will give you my undecided attention." Yeah, between that and what, porn? Hard to decide. "You will be the only thing I will ever think about. You are the only thing I ever think about. I love you, Belle. I just wish you would love me back." You know what, buddy? I bet you should threaten to unsubscribe, and then you should do it, just to show her who's boss. That'll teach her. I bet she comes crawling back to you. "I slapped my wife, and she had the guts to arrest me with police." as opposed to arresting you with what? Because of one correctional slap? I was so surprised when the police stormed my office to arrest me. We have lost wife materials. It's funny how this woke generation can't endure like our mothers. I mean, she had me arrested and had the nerve to remain in my house. It's the audacity for me. My father slapped my mom and she never had him arrested. Instead, she apologized like the good wife she is, then cooked and to wash his clothes. But now it's pathetic that we can't correct them. Sounds like you were the one that needed correcting, buddy. You had bad role models, and I'm sorry for you, but go fuck yourself. Hey, look, it's more incels.is. Who wants to form a virgin gang? Who wants to form a virgin gang? We can call ourselves the South Side Virgins or the West Side Virgins. And, at least one guy, Pacino Man, is, I'm in. I think the problem with this one for me is that rather than, I don't know, a virgin support group, you immediately went to let's start a criminal entity. Here we have something reposted from Right Wing Cope asking, why would you self-report like this? But first, we have this image of Sam from, I believe her name's Sam, from Danny Phantom going, cuddles before and after sex. Seems like a reasonable request. But this guy who identifies as a monkey in a cowboy hat and apparently is a disgrace to all monkeys like myself had this to say. If only you understand how your man sees you after sex, you will not talk about cuddles. Guy, even if you love her, it takes hours to see the beauty in her again after having sex. Straight facts right here, homie. I feel like an animal after sex. Can't look at my girl the same way. Gotta legit not even look at her for at least a couple hours. Thought this was just a me kind of thing. The feeling is mutual. I need hours to look at her properly again. So you're telling me that you can look at a woman, love her, lust after her, make the beast with two backs, and then all of a sudden you can't look at you're able to be intimate with someone, and then after the fact, it's the person who you were just inside of, somehow you don't have the balls to look at them? Be honest with me. Is it shame? Are you ashamed about how poorly you did? Like you lasted maybe 1.5 pumps and you're just so embarrassed that you can't even look at her because you'll see the reflection in her eyes and know that you're not a man, because that's the only reason I can think of why you could be that intimate with somebody and then need hours before you can look at them again. Also, if you're cuddling, you can cuddle in the dark. You can cuddle in a way that you're not looking directly at them. You can still be physically together in a way that you're not looking at them. I think you just don't like cuddling. And finally, we have this post of someone having their 31st birthday. I don't understand the caption of what's 9 plus 10, 31, but there is a very odd reaction to this post. Gotta get juiced up with cum quick before those ovaries dry up. 31 is only 6 months away from menopause. I mean, maybe for some people, but I think it varies, my dude, and usually it's a little later than 31. Heck, my mom had my younger sister when she was a month away from 40, so, I think it varies, my dude. You know what, guys? I think it's time to call it a day for the video today. I hope you enjoyed these posts as much as I did. These guys just keep getting more and more ridiculous. This is, of course, until next time, guys, I'm Mr. Sean. This is Chimera Miniatures. This is your reminder to go and touch grass. And until our next video, I sincerely hope that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.